Hello.
Hello.
This is just the part where I ramble and hope that something comes out of it that you can use.
You're really good at rambling, though. You're rambling right from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer.
If you were going to create a mascot for a college, let's just say Alabama didn't have the elephant and the Crimson Tide, what would be the thing? What would you want it to be?
So I do.
Well, let's go for a school that you go to. We're gonna go to Georgia. We'll
Sure.
do the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay.
So let's take away Bulldogs and UGA and Go Dogs, and you have to replace that because you went to school there, so you have a little bit more experience.
I do, and I do have to say I really like the unconventional ones. Like I like Roll Tide, and I like the. There was one of the Midwest teams when we were watching basketball. They were the Shockers, and they were like a shock of wheat.
Wake Forest.
Wake
Yeah.
Forest, and it was just delightful.
No, it's not Wake Forest.
It was something in Kansas or Nebraska, one of those Midwestern.
Because they made it into the Final Four, and it was a huge deal.
It was a huge deal. And then when I saw their mascot walk out, and he was like
Wake Forest,
because when I heard Shockers, I immediately thought of electricity, and I thought, oh, well, that's kind of weird. I wonder where that came from. And then when I saw their mascot and saw that he was actually just like a big, huge thing of wheat, and I thought it was delightful.
Wichita State.
Wichita State. There you go. Kansas.
I was thinking Wake Forest, Wichita State. Not super far off. Because they both suck.
And they're both W's.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I want something a little bit more unique. And then there's that new, is it a hockey team? That's the Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken.
Oh, God. See, that's so
cool.
good.
So
I
go
like
with
those.
The Georgia Kraken?
So I want something like that. I want something just crazy and no other team has it. I don't want, the Wolves or the... I don't know, what are some of the other ones? Bears. There's lots of bears.
There's
lots
of tigers.
Tigers.
Everyone's a tiger.
Lots of tigers. I don't want something like that. I want something a little more outside of the box. So
you still have the red colors.
Oh, okay. So I still gotta have the red and black.
Or white. I mean, you could choose
fire dragons.
A fire dragon?
Fire dragons.
So they'd be called the fire dragons,
yes,
not the dragons.
Because you need the red because there's lots of kinds of dragons, right?
I don't know that because I've never met a dragon.
I feel like you watched Game of Thrones. Are there not different kinds of dragons?
Different
color schemes?
She's got the 3.
Okay, and then in Harry Potter, they have different kinds of dragons.
They don't all shoot fire?
Well, yeah, but there's the Swedish short snout, and then
I know, but your specific thing is the fire-breathing dragons.
Yeah, I know, because he's got the red in him, so I need...
So the Georgia fire-breathing dragons.
No, not fire-breathing. Fire dragons.
Okay. No, that's better. The Georgia fire dragons.
Yes.
And what would be the slogan?
There's a slogan.
Flame up. Go Dogs. Go Dogs, Roll Tide. I was going to make you make up the whole entire school fight song for it.
God, no. I can't do that.
I'm not going to make you do that. Flame on.
Sure, Flame on. I like Flame on.
Damn, that'd be cool.
I like it.
I like it too.
It's certainly better than dogs.
I agree. This is the Two Better Halves podcast, where husband and wife take one topic that usually makes a big difference in the lives of married people with families and whatnot, and we split it into 2 equal parts, one led by me, one led by Sarah. During the time where we're in charge, we can talk about whatever we want, bring up whatever topic, bring up old fights, put people on the spot for things that they may have said in private that, that they never really had to defend, and then they would defend it because we both agreed that would be healthy, and it so far I think it's been healthy.
Absolutely.
I think we've had some really cool conversations that we would never had before. So, for example, if today's episode was about colleges, I could use my 15 minutes to make Sarah do what she just did, and then come up with a fight song for her college.
I'd be terrible at it, but I would do it because that was his 15 minutes, and he's allowed.
And you could use your 15 minutes to lecture me on the fact that I didn't go to college.
Yeah, you didn't go to college.
You could be like, oh, there's still time.
There is still time.
There's not still time.
You are so
31-year-olds are not allowed to go to college.
I went to college just, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, because you already went to college before. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd show up in my dorm room, and I'd be like, whoa, where am I supposed to
you don't have to, legitimately go and live in a dorm. That is a very specific kind of college experience.
When this episode comes out, most likely...
Hopefully.
We'll have a president announced.
It would be nice. We would have a president-elect.
Because all the experts are saying that even if Trump can make his case about Pennsylvania, and I'm even hearing some things that are they're upsetting that they have happened. if he loses Georgia and he loses Arizona and he loses Nevada, none of that matters anyways.
That is certainly what it seems like, yes.
So I am hoping that at the time you are hearing this, so thus we will not talk too much about it. I have the stuff running on my iPad right now in front of me. They just announced, a sneeze.
Sorry.
Biden is 21,000 up in Pennsylvania with 96% of the vote counted. But you'll be hearing this a couple days after, because right now it's the 6th of November. So when you hear this, hopefully it's all settled and good. So we won't spend too much time talking about it.
Okay, let's not, because we spent a whole lot of time talking about it last time.
We did. I just wanted people, if they come and listen to this a year and a half from now, because that's the thing I like about our topics, is our topics are they work at any point. That is what is happening in the world at the moment. Too close to calls everywhere.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. I mean, I can't say if historically this has never happened, but it's certainly not happened in my recollection.
Would you rather have a fire dragon as the president or a shocker? Someone made out of wheat.
Oh, gosh. All right. This sounds really bad because I'm basing it totally on the way that things have gone right now, but I'm going to say fire dragon because right now, shocker in those Midwest states have definitely been very pro-Trump, and that is not my petition.
You don't think that a fire dragon would be pro-Trump?
I don't think he would.
He
and
literally
I know
takes
for a fact
people
a shocker would.
He takes them and he puts them in cages. That's so easy for the dragons. They just go right up and they're like,
okay,
right, there's my food.
I've never seen a dragon put someone in a cage, though.
No, but it makes it easier for him to eat it.
I know, but that may not. I mean, he's never done it.
Yeah,
I've never seen a dragon do it.
That's
so
true.
yeah, so they may not be into that.
And they put he's trying to build a wall, but a dragon would just get right over the wall.
Yeah, I mean, they just fly right over. So what's the point?
I think a fire dragon would be more likely to be like Trump.
Okay, but you're just thinking because of the red and the red.
No, I'm thinking because typically dragons are hoarders and they love money because they all want to collect the gold and they don't care who they have to hurt and kill.
I think you're only thinking of Tolkien dragons.
That's probably what's going on here. But that's where I connect my dragons to.
And that's fine. I'm just saying there's lots of iterations of dragons, and Tolkien's is just one. And he's the only one that I can specifically think of off the top of my head that has the gold hoarding thing as like a part of their personality.
How do you know Smaug's a he?
No, Tolkien.
Tolkien's not a he either. He's dead.
So he ceases to be a he?
When you die, you don't have a gender.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that is fair. All right, today we are talking about friends.
Not that you would know that from the introduction.
No. But that you weren't supposed to know it from the introduction. So we will both take 15 minutes to discuss whatever we would like as far as what it's like fitting your friendships and the friends that you have into the frame of a marriage.
Yeah, and I think that is a sticking point for a lot of people. I think that there's a lot of ways that friendships can be supportive of a marriage, and then a lot of ways that friendships can be detrimental to a marriage.
So we might mention names of people that you do not know and have never met, but we'll try to give a little bit of a backstory as much as we can. As much as we want. It's our 15 minutes, right?
That's right.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, so whenever you want to start your 15 minutes. Do you have a timer?
I do.
Okie dokie. Is the volume up on your phone?
I think so.
Well, let's hope so. Y'all let me know if you can't hear it, so Sarah might not cheat.
I'm not cheating. Okay. So I will say that when I was younger, I was pretty good at making friends.
You were never younger.
But as I have gotten older, I think I have gotten worse at it. So I guess my first question is, why do you think I'm so bad at it? Why am I so bad at making friends?
Why are you saying so bad at it?
I'm bad at making friends.
You are.
I have lots of acquaintances. I don't really have a lot of friends.
You are bad at making friends because you have a hard time switching off professional Sarah. That is your go-to. You wake up being professional. You go through your day being professional. As long as I've known you, you take yourself very seriously. You still act like you don't like poop jokes when we all know you do.
Okay, I don't, for the record.
But when we think about the areas where you... like the activities that you have done where you can't stay as professional Sarah are the ones that you make friends with easier. Like I think even with roller derby, you have a hard time because it took like no time at all for you to start getting really important positions in the roller derby. And now you're in charge of this, and you're in charge of the money, and you have to make sure people are doing the things they're supposed to do on time. So that already gets you in your professional headspace. But like when we did theater stuff, I would say most of the friends that I've ever seen you have came from that.
That is very fair.
And that is because when you go there, you don't have to worry about being professional. You don't have to worry about being in charge of stuff. You're going there to either do improv or just do your one role in a show. So once you have that little part down, you're there to have fun. And so those people that you're surrounded by, you're not worrying about being professional, serious Sarah. And then you have a way easier time making friends.
So I will say that is not the answer I expected. I don't know what answer I expected, but that is such a great and very thoughtful and very accurate answer that you know me very well.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So congratulations.
There are times where I don't even like hanging out with you because you're being so serious
wow,
and professional.
That was.
Sometimes you take you might be taking yourself too seriously right now.
Yeah, because I'm offended by what you're saying. That by default I just must be taking it too seriously.
There are times you don't like hanging out with me.
I don't think that's true.
That is true. When I make poop jokes.
I mean, I don't like the poop jokes, but I still like being around you. I just wish you were saying something else.
That's fair. But that's the reason I think you have trouble making friends. And you have to. I mean, you're the provider for the whole family. You have to take yourself very serious. You've worked so hard to get your degrees. You move so fast in all of the work positions you have. You just have a hard time then flipping that off and not being in that mindset.
No, I think that is incredibly astute. It is a very great observation.
And people don't want to be friends with that.
No, that's very fair.
So.
All right, so that being said, out of everyone I know right now, who would you consider my best friend?
I would consider your... Well, because the people I can think of are family members. And how do you feel about saying a family member is your best friend?
That's fine. I think that's fine.
Like I would say Julia. She is my little brother's wife.
So my sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law. And again, I think family is one of those situations where you don't have your professional face on. Like you can just chill and relax. And we don't play games as much as we used to, but we'd go over there and play board games. And they've got the baby. We just goof off with the baby. That's one of the ones that, I mean, you don't go to her and be like, oh, I'm having a really hard time with this and this and this because you're so professional. You don't do that with anybody. You don't really do that with me. I would say Julia is the first one that comes to mind. Because when you guys are around each other, I feel like you're open up and
I'm very authentic around her, yeah.
Than with someone else.
I think that's fair.
I would have picked one of the girls in roller derby, but it's been a while now.
Yeah,
that's been Katie.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that was so funny because it was shortly before the pandemic happened, and I had made the comment that I have all these people that I are my friends, but they're my friends because I get to see them on a regular basis. And I was like, if I didn't see them on a regular basis, we probably wouldn't talk very much. And everybody kind of laughed, but that's exactly what's happened. And
you have to put that in the context. Not only is it you're not seeing a regular basis, there's also a killer virus that's just distracting everyone, and a election that almost everyone in your roller derby team is liberal.
Yes.
So everybody is not just we're not seeing each other as much. Why are you guys not seeing each other as much is very important.
Yes, it's true. But I am very bad at proactively reaching out to others via texting or phone calls or any of those kinds of things. You
don't want to seem like a pest.
Exactly.
That's how you think of it.
That's how I think of it. And so I'm not good at that. And so I would respond if anybody reached out to me, but I think that, a lot of them are also the same way as well. And I think it's the same way with Nitwits. I would consider all the people that
Nitwits
we do
being our improv troupe.
Yes. I would consider
which
all
also
the people
is canceled now.
We did improv with my friends. And when I saw them every single week for practice, I had a great time with everybody. I really enjoyed being around them. But now that we're not meeting together, I'm not communicating with them. I'm not talking to them on a regular basis. I'm not. And so, I would
have said Katie, though, if you're still at roller derby. She's the one girl on the team that every time you came back, I had this really good conversation with Katie. Or me and Katie really stuck up for each other. She was the only one that consistently, every single time there was a bout or some kind of a trip or anything related to roller derby, there was always a good Katie story.
Yeah, and we have a lot of things in common because her boyfriend, long-term boyfriend, is a type 1 diabetic as well.
That's what I am.
So it's, as someone who is, I guess you would call us a caregiver of someone who is a diabetic.
Wow, I don't need care.
You do.
I just need pussy.
Okay, but you also need care.
Nope.
And it's something that if you haven't experienced that, you wouldn't necessarily understand. And so people who understand what that's like, there's a bonding that happens there. So I would agree. I think those are both good answers. So
I'm good at this. I'm good at knowing things about you.
You are. It's like you're my husband or something. It's crazy.
And I think I think when Hannigan can drive, you and her are going to be best friends. I think you guys are on the right path to where she's not going to be a secluded teenager. Like, she's getting that out of her way now. She gets better and better already. But she still has to treat you very motherly because you have to drive her so many places. So once she gets that little bit more independence, I think you guys are going to just have a ball.
We do have a ton in common. She is, of our children, she is the one who's the most like me.
Wow,
sure.
Just say favorite.
She is not my favorite,
but
she is the most like me.
Lies.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So I guess one of the other things I wanted to ask, because it's a thing that I think when you talk about friends and relationships, is things that either relate to people who are the opposite gender or exes. I think both of those can be very sensitive topics, and whether it's okay to be friends in that situation or not. When I first got divorced, having an ex-husband, I think it's a very different kind of relationship than someone you just casually dated or hung out with or whatever. And so when we first split up, it was very much, we didn't really talk. I mean, probably even to the detriment of, there was things we probably should have been sharing about the kids and things like that we weren't proactively sharing. Things have thawed between us quite substantially.
Thawed?
Yes, I would say, especially in the last couple of years. And so,
thawed.
How much would it bother you if we became more friendly and it wasn't just strictly, hey, I need to meet you here to drop kids off, or hey, this kid is not doing so well in this class?
It would not bother me at all. Have we talked about this? I guess never on here.
No, never on here. And I mean, I know that
I don't remember from the exes episode.
I mean, we talked a little bit about the fact that you like my ex-husband, but never
I said I wanted to be friends with him.
Yes. But you've never, and I mean, I think that makes a difference too, for sure. But I don't think we've ever specifically talked about how you would feel if I was friends with him.
I mean, the reason I would have an issue is if he did something really terrible to you when you guys were together. Like if he would have hit you, or he was cheating on you for a whole long time, something incredibly untrustworthy that I would be afraid that you get mixed up with him. Something bad's going to happen. None of that happened. You guys just grew apart. He's married to someone else. You're married to someone else. I don't want to say I love him because then it sounds kind of weird. I really like him. I was really good friends with him before we got together. I like talking to him. I like him being around. I think it's good for all the kids. So
would there be a
as
line,
long as I am allowed to flirt with whoever I want,
whoever you want?
Well, never mind.
I'm not saying I'm flirting with him. I'm saying we're being friends.
No, I'm not saying you're flirting with him.
But if I'm going to be friends with my ex-husband, you have to be allowed to flirt with whoever you want.
No, I have to be allowed to flirt with your ex-husband.
Okay, that's my question.
Not in like a bad way, but just for fun. You have to be comfortable with the kind of jokes I might make.
I mean, the fact that I married you knowing the kind of jokes that you make.
Yeah, but it's a little different.
That's fair. But so I think that's a sticking point in a lot of relationships, though. So would there be something that would make you uncomfortable? Can you think of if there was a communication between us that you'd start to feel like, you know what, maybe that's a little too far?
If you were like bailing on doing things with me for him, that would bother me.
Okay, I think
that's sort of as my comfort for any kind of you being friends with some of the opposite sex. If it becomes, hey, I'm not gonna hang out with you because I'm gonna hang out with this guy, that's when it would bother me. And okay. I'm not saying that that's fair and that it should bother me, but that's when it would make me uncomfortable.
And it would be something very different from the way it is now, because there isn't anybody like that I would choose to hang out with over you. And
then if that person of the opposite sex expressed feelings for you and you were like, oh yeah, but I'm just going to ignore it and we're still going to be friends, that would bother me.
Okay.
So I think if anyone expresses interest in someone married and that person wants to stay happily married, they need to cut off communication with that person, no matter what situation. There'd be no reason. I don't know. That's a lose-lose situation to me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So we've focused very much on me.
Well,
so
yeah, it's your 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
What a
so
shock.
I want to focus a little bit more on you.
Damn, I love myself.
So to you, what's the most important trait in a friend? What's the thing that's a must-have?
A big, juicy People who can skip small talk is the most important trait.
Yeah, you really don't like that.
I hate small talk. The ones, like when they say, oh, we can hang out and just talk about, like, no matter how long we haven't talked, when we get back together, it's like we've been talking forever. And, oh, I don't know how people word it, those little bitches. But, yeah, the fact that when we get together, we don't have to, like, do the, how are you? How's work? Blah, blah. How are the kids? Like, we get there and we can immediately hop into jokes or something really serious and detrimental. That's what I need.
Detrimental?
Yeah.
You really want to hop into the detrimental?
I would rather that than them ask me how my 401k is looking. Because the answer is, I don't know.
Do you have a 401k?
Do we not?
I do.
Is it not joint? We're married.
It's not.
So if you die, I don't get a piece of that?
If I die, you get it.
Well, then it is mine.
But until I die, it is mine.
Yeah, but
it only has my name on it.
Yeah, but if you
can't pull any money out of there while I'm alive.
Yeah, but the fact if you died, it would become mine. I would say it's partly mine then.
To be fair, you don't get all of it. You get part of it and the kids get part of it.
That's bullshit. We never agreed to that.
You get 40% and the kids each get 20%.
That is not fair.
Sorry, that's how it is.
I'm changing it.
You can't.
I'm asking
because
you
it's my name.
Why would you not give me more?
I gave you the biggest chunk. You get 40 and each of the 3 kids get 20.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not. Honestly, I don't know.
Would it be enough for me to buy a wrestling ring?
Probably.
Hell yeah.
It is not going to be enough to compensate for me not being around to work for the next 30 years.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Okay. All right, next thing on here. So is there something in the past that's caused you to drop a friend? You're not really a big grudge holder, so it's an unusual thing for you. But has there been anything someone has done in your life where you're like, you know what, I can't be friends with this person anymore?
Yes.
Okay, and what would that thing be?
I'm trying to think of what it specifically... Like, I had lots of friends that... from the church days. And the moment you decide that you are doubting religion in the slightest, they start treating you like a piece of shit. Like, if you're... This is typically how Christians are, especially at, I'll say, a community Christian church. This is especially their way of doing things. If you are a non-believer that they can convert and bring in... Awesome, they love you, God loves you too, no perfect people allowed, LOL. But if you're someone who was there and then starts having problems, they don't give a fuck. At least in my experience, and everyone else I know that used to go there and doesn't go there anymore, the fact that all these people are saying it probably means there's a problem at the core, but they don't care. So when you start being like, hey, if you're, crying, praising Jesus, hands up in the air, and then you start going downhill, they pretty much, all those friends, not all of them, because a lot of them stopped going too, because they saw the same issues, and, you know, they got driven away by the same people that I got driven away by then. And I'm still really good friends with all those people, but all those people who, you know, started treating you like crap for not, at least pretending to be a big Christian. Yeah, screw all them.
Well, that's a shame. That's really unfortunate.
That's their thing.
So, given that your church is not a big part of your life now, is there anything that a friend could do today that you would be like, okay, I'm done?
Something really bad to you or Scotland?
Really bad, like what?
Like,
punching me in the face.
Yeah, that's to the extreme. Oh, well, we'll never know. So at least they know not to punch you in the face.
That's true. Don't punch me in the face if you want to be Lenton's friend.
They've got to test it all out. They can just keep doing terrible things till they figure it out.
I don't like that.
Well, that's the 50 minutes. Is it my time?
It is your time.
All right, let me know when.
Now,
okay. Let's start off with the flip side of the question that you asked. Why is it that I am so good at making friends, in your opinion? Like, I can just be friends with anybody.
I think it's a few things. I think one is that you are very charismatic, so you attract people.
Damn, I should start a cult.
I think that
would I be good at having a cult?
Could be good at having a cult.
But if I had to connect it to like religion and stuff?
No, you don't have to. There's some cults that don't, but you don't have the narcissism required to actually lead a cult. But in terms of the actual
got you fooled.
Initial attraction to get people invested in you and believing in you, I think that you do have that level of charisma. And so I think people are attracted to that energy that you give off. They want to be around it. It makes them feel good, and it makes them feel included and invited. So I think that's a big part of it. But I would say that the other thing, especially now that I've seen it through the pandemic, is that exactly what we said I'm not good at. You are incredibly good at just reaching out to people and just sending them a message or posting little funny memes on their wall, or you do things proactively to invite them in and give them the opportunity to then engage or not engage back. And so you're really putting the ball in their court. And so for someone who's not as good at that or shy or whatever, they're feeling special, they're feeling involved, they feel like they have the invitation to then respond back. And so you're the brave one that's putting the first foot forward.
Now, I agree with all that. Do you think the reason you don't step out and do that for the people that you are friends with is because you're not brave and you're not sure what to say? Or is it just because you're okay not talking and having friends on a regular basis? Like, do you think it's more so, this is a part of me I want to fix, or it's more so a part of you that, it doesn't really bother me that much?
I definitely would like to fix it. But I am also, I've never been a person who needed to have a ton of friends and always be involved in something. I would honestly be fine with one really good friend.
So you're more quality over quantity.
Yes.
And I am more quantity over quality.
Yes.
Like, there's no one that I bare my heart and soul to because I have a good relationship with my wife.
Yes.
And I'd probably, my little brother, him and I have had some
Yes.
serious conversations, but even then it's masked in hilarity and in immaturity and all that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that that's fine. I think that you can still have real deep, vulnerable conversations. And I think that you are the person that I do that with, but there are things that are related to you that it would be nice to get an external opinion on. Like,
what the hell?
I mean, like having to deal with the fact that
my penis is super small.
A caregiver for you with diabetes, and when your blood sugar
wow,
is
she
super
didn't
high
correct me. She did not correct that, everyone.
I ignored it, but okay.
That is not correcting it.
I shouldn't need to correct it.
Show everybody at home how big with your hands. She's doing it. Y'all can't see, but she's doing like crucifix. Tell you what.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I like it.
I forgot what point you were making. Maybe I should go to the next question.
No, that was how you just wanted to distract me.
No, I forgot. You were saying why you don't like people.
No, I wasn't saying I don't like people. I was saying that I do wish that there was somebody I could go to for the things that are more related to you and our relationship. And I'm not saying we have tons of problems in our relationship and that I don't bring up issues with you, but just to talk through things like what it's like when, you know, your blood sugar's oscillating all over the place and you're super tired and you don't feel well, and it can make your personality like you know,
and that I want to flirt with everything that moves.
So I mean, it just
there's plenty of horrible things.
I'm not
me.
saying that. I'm just saying that it would be nice.
You
to
should
have that support.
become best friends with me in a wig and like tell all your stuff to that.
Okay.
And then I'll know them all.
Okay.
That's not like stuff you're hiding from me.
Absolutely
You just want to vent. I get it. I need to vent about you.
And it's not even vent, but sometimes to get an outside perspective and to have somebody be able to tell me, yes, you're totally right for feeling that way, or no, you're being ridiculous and you probably, but they're objective because they're on the outside and it's not a direct part of it. And having that outside third party perspective sometimes can be really helpful for you just to reflect deeper on what it is you're actually thinking and feeling. And I don't really have that third party person.
That's fair. And we'll go sort of another question based on exes since we got into that. And we talked a little bit about this, that I am friends with one of my ex-girlfriends really strongly. I officiated her wedding. You're friendly with her too. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a point, because I've been friends with her since you and I have been together, that it made you uncomfortable? You didn't like it. You didn't want us to be friends.
There was a time, and I don't remember how long ago it was, although I do remember it was a while ago, that you hadn't really been around her for a while. You hadn't really talked to her for a while. And that's just how things go in life sometimes, right? People phase in and out. They become super busy. You become super busy. And so the good friends, you can work through that and you ultimately come back together and can be closer friends again. And you guys hadn't really been that around each other, but you had gone to a place, now granted with a bunch of other people. This was not like, it was just you and her kind of a thing. But there was pictures that were posted from the event, and you and her were sitting like side by side, super crammed together. And I didn't even know that she was there.
It was like one of my Brothers musical shows.
Something like that. Yeah, and again, it was a public place. You were there. A bunch of other people were there. But it was one of those things that at that moment, I was the one home by myself, and I see you guys super cozied up together.
We were not super cozied up. It was in a bench seat at a restaurant.
That's the only time I can ever think about where I was like, okay, that made me uncomfortable. But again, it was...
But did I come home and like lie about her being there or something?
No, you absolutely did not. And it was, like I said, had I seen it now when you guys have been more in contact recently and it's been much more of a thing, I don't think it would have. The fact that we're further in our relationship, I don't think that it would have. The fact that she now has somebody else, I don't think that it would have.
And I think it's so much like you and your ex-husband. Like, when you and I got together, this girl wanted to date me. Your husband wanted to work on the marriage with you. We both said we don't want either of those two things. We want to be with each other.
Right.
So we did not choose either of them and chose each other.
Yes.
So I think that makes a difference.
I think that does make a difference. And, like I said, I mean, I think it was a combination of factors in that moment, but that's the only time I can think of. And there's been times where, and I'll say that you and she both have been really great about, like, she wanted to come over one day and bring her son to swim in our pool. And you messaged me and said, hey, she wants to come over. It'll just be the two of us and the kids. Are you comfortable with that? And so I think the fact that both of you have been so good about proactively communicating things and not making it feel like anything was happening like behind my back or you know what I mean? Like I just felt like you've always been honest and transparent about it. And so to me, it's never, I mean, considering that we've been together for 9 years and you guys have been friends that entire time to varying degrees. I think it's a testament to how well all three of us handle that situation.
Okay. So you pretty much have always been okay with me and her then.
Yes.
Has there been a friend of mine that you have not wanted me to hang out with for any reason? Like that you thought they were trying to get me to do something that I shouldn't be doing, or that they were using me and being unfair to me?
I definitely have never thought that anyone was using you. I think that you are pretty good at seeing that, and I think that you are also very good about calling people on things. I don't think you're not a pacifist. You're not a let's just sweep everything under the rug and pretend everything's fine and hunky-dory. If there's an issue, I think it's one of your strengths that you just want to talk about that immediately and just have that be done. Because you're not going to hold a grudge, right? You're not going to secretly be thinking, oh, well, so-and-so is doing this, but not tell them and then just hold it against them and then have it be.
Okay, so has there been, for any reason, you were like, I wish he was not friends with that person?
So I would not say that.
Because I have for you, so I'm wondering.
Yes, so I would say no. I would say there was one time where you surprised me because you came back and told me that someone had tried to get you to do something, to cheat on me, to whatever. And I was very surprised by that. But I think even then, I tried to take context into the situation and everything else, and it was a one-time thing, and I never heard anything about anything like that ever happening again. So I think
would this be the Alabama trip?
Yes, this would be the Alabama trip. So
you don't want to give any more context to that story?
You can give more context. I'm not sure that I know all the context.
Basically, went to a bar went with a friend to Alabama. Cute girl, was all into me all night. We ended up hanging out with her and her friend and this gay guy that was also there. And I was encouraged by the friend to try to make out with her and stuff. It was never like, fuck her. But
I mean, it was certainly when I heard about it, that it hurt my feelings. I was upset, but it was something that seemed like a one-time thing. And when people have been drinking and all those, I mean, like, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances. If it was a repeat behavior or a pattern, I think that at that point I would be like, I really don't
This is the same girl, and I think I talked about in the drug episode, to where she wanted me to do cocaine with her, but she used a phrase for it that I never heard before, and that ended the entire night of sexiness. But then the guy that was there, he was crazy about me. He wanted me more than the girl did, but I have a very specific type when it comes to guys, and he was not it.
And that was the issue.
That was not the issue, but I would have been more likely. I don't know why I'm talking.
You can't say anything now. You should probably just
never
stop.
Never mind. I mean, because we went to a drag show, a drag show. There were lots of cute guys there, but the only one that was like putting his head on me and saying we should make out, blah, blah, blah. He said he'd take me in the bathroom and give me a hand job right then. I was like, no, I'm not going to do any of that. I have a wife. I'm happy, blah, 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 blah. He was very unattractive. If it would have been a really attractive guy, I still would have said no.
There you
still
go.
would have said no.
That's all you needed to say.
Because I wasn't drinking that night because my insulin pump got knocked off by some chick that jumped through our car window really, really early on. So I had no insulin. So I was like, all right, well, fuck. I'm just going to drink water all night. So I was
saved by the fact that you had no alcohol.
Oh my God, you were saved by lots of things. One of them being how much I love you. One of them being that this guy wasn't cute enough. One of them being that there was no alcohol in me. And one of them being is that I didn't want to get a handy in the bathroom of a drag show.
Well, one of those 4 is in my favor.
Next question. Have you ever stopped being friends with someone because of something related to romance? Like they were married to someone that you didn't like. They dated someone you didn't like. Maybe they dated the guy you liked in high school. Has romance ever been a reason that you have lost a friend? Or maybe someone stopped being friends with you because of it.
I definitely have never stopped being friends with anyone else because of romance. I would say that there was definitely people that stopped being friends with me because of romance. We've talked about this a little bit.
Name. Drop some names.
When I chose to marry you, there was dozens of people that did not want to be my friends
who?
anymore. Most of them were people that we knew from the theater. And again, they were probably people who were
not gonna say names,
more acquaintances than friends.
Okay, so what about one that you thought of was a friend? Like you were surprised that person sort of gave you the cold shoulder because you weren't married to the right person.
Susan is probably the one that I was the most surprised at how
she was part of the nuance.
At how much of a cold shoulder that she gave me. It was a little surprising to me.
Okay, is that the only one that sticks out?
She's the one that sticks out the most. There was other people that definitely gave me a cold shoulder, but I was not as surprised. They were people that I totally expected to be on Spencer's side. Not that there's ever really sides in that, but
I wouldn't say there were sides because only one person was ever talked to by anybody. They sort of, no one came to you and asked anything. They were just like, fuck her.
Yeah.
She's the bad guy because she wanted a divorce.
Yes.
And that's how people are.
Yes.
And no one will ever say they're sorry.
But I can't think of a time ever. I mean, even if I think back as like to middle school and high school, I can't think of a single time.
It's not like, ooh, she's talking to Kyle, and I like Kyle.
Yeah.
I ain't going to be friends with her no more.
I definitely had a frenemy in high school. Her name was Leanne.
Damn, Leanne, you bitch.
But I think it was bigger. I think the animosity between us that happened was bigger than the fact that ultimately at some point we both dated the same guy. I think the issues between us were
Who was hotter in high school, though? You or Leanne?
Me.
Yeah, damn right. Fuck you, Leanne. Are you Facebook friends with her?
Yes.
That's the one, the bully that you're friends with now for some reason. Let's bully her.
I don't want to bully her.
No, let's get back at her.
She seems perfectly happy and delightful. Let's
go after her kids. Let's go make fun of her kids.
She has a kid. No, we're not going to.
Let's make fun of your kid. What's he look like?
I mean, he's an average-looking guy. I mean, she doesn't.
Guy? Really... How old is he? Well, I guess you have a kid that's 18,
so
say, yeah.
He's a
I'm thinking like a grown-ass man with a mustache.
Yeah, no,
like, hey, Ma. Hey, Ma.
I don't think he's as old as Harper, but...
Oh, my Lord. I love it. So, with all this said, after we're done this podcast in the next couple of weeks, are you going to do anything differently to try to build a relationship with a friend or open up more? I mean, it's so easy to send like a funny meme or just like a funny thing to someone. It's so easy. It takes no effort at all.
But then if they don't respond, my feelings are hurt.
But everybody uses social media differently. You can't judge everyone by how they respond on social media.
If I send something to somebody and they don't respond, my feelings will be hurt.
If you text them and they don't respond, yeah, your feelings should be hurt. If you like message them and they leave you on red. But
I don't know.
So you're not going to do anything?
No, I will try. I will try to be better.
And it can't be with someone like Julia that we already talked about. We've already been talking to her about going over there and hanging out.
But why can't it be Julia?
Oh, well, I can't explain that. Damn, that's our 15 minutes. Pretty good episode.
Yeah, I think that...
pretty good conversation.
Yeah, and we've learned a lot, so...
We have learned a lot. Our next episode, it's a special episode. It is Never Have You Ever. So we're taking the game Never Have I Ever. We are going to take the suggestions you guys have sent in. Thank you very much. We're going to take the Never Have I Evers that we have found online that don't really relate to either of us, but we just thought were entertaining. We're going to throw them in a random list generator. Going to hit randomize, and then I'm going to get a top 10 list. And I'm going to go through all 10 of those, trying to answer for Sarah what I think she has or has not done. And then she'll do the same for me.
Yeah.
And we'll see probably some funny little stories in there. I don't really want to keep a tally. I don't really care who wins or loses.
No, I don't care either.
So that'll be our next episode, a fun one. And then after that, what's next after that? Let's look, because then we have another serious one to bring to you guys. And thank you for, if you're a new listener who's here after checking out the Why This Not That podcast, it's great to have you here. I hope we entertained you. I am, of course, one of the co-hosts, Big Brother, and the other co-hosts, Idol. He would love to be like me.
That's right. He tells me that all the time when we message because we're friends.
Okay. Our next really serious episode is The Greatest Fights, where we will bring up our big fights again.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I sent you the schedule for this, and you didn't make any changes.
I'm kidding.
There are some fights that we had and we came to conclusions on. There are other fights we've had that we just haven't talked about again. So,
yeah, probably not the biggest ones, though. I feel like the biggest
it's
ones...
not called the biggest fights. It's called the greatest fights.
Oh, okay.
So it's the ones that stick with us. So, in your 50 minutes, you can come up with whatever fight you want. I'm going to bring back ones that I thought I was right and we never came to a resolution to.
Oh.
To try and...
make me feel bad.
No, to bring it back up again and see if we can come to a conclusion. There's not many. I can think of like 2 that come to mind. So,
all right.
It'll be a great time.
Is it? Is it going to be a great time?
Okay, if you'd like to do a different one, let me know and I'll make the changes.
No.
Okay. Love you guys. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, Two Better Halves Podcast. And find our podcast anywhere you enjoy podcasts. If you go somewhere and you look and you don't find it, let me know and I'll get it on there.
Thanks so much.